Hello and welcome to the Sewing Studio. Today is the September postcard of our block of the month. So I'm just going to have a quick recap and I'm going to show you what we've done before. So we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July and August. So we're going to look at September now, and I'm going to show you how to make this little apple tree, because for me September is all about gathering the apples. So this one's really quick and easy. So you just need a piece of background fabric, and you'll see that this one's been orientated portrait. Some of our blocks are landscape, but don't worry about that, because at the end I'm going to show you how to put them all together so they all fit in a nice little wall hanging or quilt. So this one's really quick and easy. So I've just used a very pale green for the background, and the background is cut at 5 by 7. And this one really appealed to me because it's quite naive with the drawing. So I've got this nice scrap of fabric, and what I like about doing these postcards is when I go through my scrap box, I think, oh, what have I got that's suitable? And I've got this lovely piece of fabric here that's like wood, so perfect for the tree bark. And then I've got a dark green that I'm going to use for the tree. So I'll take my background fabric and I'm going to trace onto the bonder web, which has just fallen on the floor. So I'm going to draw a shape for the tree trunk. So just very roughly and very naive. And as I say, every month you don't have to be a particularly good drawer. As you can see, I'm not. And this appeals to my, almost like my childlike drawing, takes me back. So that's going to be the tree trunk. So I'm going to very roughly cut that out, not on the line. Just shy of the line, and then I'm going to press that onto the fabric that is going to be the bark. I'm just going to the iron to do that. And then I'm going to cut that out on the line. What I find is I get really precious with my scraps. I'm supposed to be using up my scraps, but I get really precious with them and find that, oh, I found that piece. I haven't seen that for a long time. I actually don't want to use it. I'm sure there's some of you that are familiar with that concept. So I'm taking the back off the bonder web and I'm going to put that onto the background. So it's roughly where I want it to be. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the tree shape. I'm sure we all remember drawing these as children. What have I done with the paper scissors? Very disorganised today. So again, I'm just cutting away, not on the line. Press that onto the back of this lovely dark green fabric. And I'm going to cut that out on the line. And then break the back of the bonder web. I go back to the iron, press that in place. And there we have our very naive looking apple tree. So the next thing I did, because I wanted some red and green apples, the next thing I did was I had some of these little felt pom-poms. So I had a few of those, and so what I did, I've got some in green and some in red. So what I did was I cut them in half. So very carefully, just snipped them in half, so I ended up with a flat side. Now, if you haven't got any of these, red and green buttons would be absolutely perfect, or red and green beads. Maybe that you want all red apples on your tree, so you could use just red buttons. And then what I used was this high tack glue, and this is really useful for these sort of projects. It dries clear and it will stick the wool to the fabric. And this is my go-to whenever I've got any projects that I need to glue. Alternatively, you could embroider your apples on the tree if you wanted to. So I've popped some glue on the underside of my felt pom-poms, and I'm just going to press them onto the tree where I want them. Some red, some green. And then what you could do, you could have a few on the ground as if they'd fallen on the ground, or you could put some extra bit of green here as if it's grass. So there's lots of things you can do. As I always say, make it your own. So if we just look at the first one again, you can see I've actually got more rosy red apples on my tree than I have green. So that is for the month of September. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes, and I look forward to seeing you in October.